Hello all, and welcome to the zoo.
Why am I here?
Minions of the Zoo is a lovable ragtag group of misfits that sprang up initially as a fan group to Ranting Monkey, Scribe-Lite, Some Dumb American, and their joint Lords of the Night livestream show. Late night discussions in Discord quickly evolved into streams of their own, with each member bringing something new and different to the table for discussion. Led by the incomparable Reject PPC and the One-Ton Hammer, the group rotates hosts known as Zookeepers.
Hello everybody and welcome to Minions of the Zoo. I am your host for this evening, One-Ton Hammer.
I will be your zookeeper tonight, Reject.
Alright, and welcome to the zoo. I am the Lucky Pop-Tart Inquisitor.
Sanguine.
Skep, Tock.
I'm Prospero.
Fat Platypus.
Chaosy.
And I'm Delahazed.
Regular streamers, they're known as minions. And special guests are known as traveling exhibits. They're on a nightly basis, so that each show has something unique and fresh for our audience. Minions of the Zoo currently streams at 10:30 Central Standard, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Minions of the Zoo Super Sunday Show. I'm your host, Mr. Adam, and with me is I'm happy to have a guest, Sanguine.
Good evening, all.
And we are gonna be hanging out. It's kind of weird. The main Minions zoo has been struck, so we're kind of looking at alternate ways of providing you with entertainment, I guess to say. So I'm hosting it on my channel. So it's kind of,
Minions of the zoo have become the refugees of the zoo.
yeah, we are refugees. Refugees. Oh. But hey, Sanguine, what's for dinner?
For dinner, I made an absolutely fucking amazing dinner of Mangalitsa pork, which I discussed that last time. It's the really fatty, buttery pork breed. This one I did up as a molasses and bourbon
Ooh.
Mangalitsa pork with some sauteed bourbon finished mushrooms and onions, and then some crispy smashed potatoes. Let me see if I can get this to come across so you can hear how crispy it is.
Well, when you add the mushrooms and onions, are you adding it after the fact, so it kind of adds a layer of taste, or is it you're cooking it with it so that it kind of I don't know how it embraces?
So I slice it, and first off, does the mic pick up this? I'm not sure if Discord will allow it, but
Whoa,
do you hear the scratching noise?
I hear it.
Yeah, that is the skin of those crispy smashed potatoes. Just dragging my fork over it. They are ridiculously crispy. I love it. But when talking about the mushrooms and onion saute that I did, it's I slice up the mushrooms, toss them into a hot pan that has absolutely no fat in it when I first start cooking. Just a hot pan, sprinkle of salt, let the moisture from the mushrooms get sucked out by the salt and cooked off by the heat. Because mushrooms are predominantly water when they're fresh. And if you just leave them that way, they kind of have a very weak flavor, and they get a weird texture if you don't cook off the water. They get kind of that almost rubbery texture to them. Sometimes they can go a little bit slimy, whereas if you cook off the moisture, they're just ridiculously savory, amazing bites of goodness. So I cook off the moisture in the mushrooms, slice up my onions, toss those into a pan, add a little bit of cooking fat. In this case, I used some Mangalitsa pork fat to cook the mushrooms and onions in. Get the onions to go just past translucent, starting to caramelize, splash in a shot of bourbon, and cook off the bourbon so that that soaks into the onions and the mushrooms. Make sure that the seasoning's good, and then plate it up. That's how I do my sautéed mushrooms and onions. Oh, did you hear that crunch as a bit into that? Like I said, just insanely crisp potatoes today.
Well, that gets rid of the chewy aspect of the mushrooms.
Oh yeah, cooking off the liquid gets rid of that kind of chewy, almost rubbery texture that mushrooms can sometimes have.
Yeah.
And just gives you that really concentrated, earthy, savory mushroom flavor. Which is when mushrooms truly shine. And then with that, I'm having a finger of the same bourbon I finished the mushrooms and onions with, as well as a pint of, or just shy of a pint, of a sour, this one being the Berry Noir Boulevard Brewing Company.
Now, you're using a bourbon because of the sugar aspect of it?
Use the bourbon just for the flavor of the bourbon.
Ah, okay.
I got a rather lovely bourbon. This one is the Chestnut Farm.
Chestnut Farm.
Yep, Chestnut Farms bourbon. Fantastic flavor to it, and it looks like we've been joined by a Skep.
Oh no! Whoa! What's up, Skep Tock?
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey!
Doing grand. Just running through what I made for dinner tonight.
I don't know about you, but it's tickled my stomach, so.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going, Skep Tock?
Excitement in the neighborhood. The crime here. I'm trying to be like Chicago.
Whoa. You know, it's not like the old days of Family Matters. You know, a little bit harder, but.
You mean the sequel to Die Hard? After Carl learns how to kill again in the story of Die Hard, he then has to go into witness protection, has moved to a different neighborhood with his family where he's still a police officer, but he's no longer in the same area that he was known for his heroism at Nakatomi Plaza. And then he just ends up with that little shit living behind him, Urkel.
Dude, and all he wants is cheese. I completely forgot. Oh, no.
I stand by. I can't remember where I first read that, but it's a fan theory of both Die Hard and Family Matters that Carl Winslow is playing the same character. Or Carl Winslow, the character, is the same character in both of them. Because both of them are cops, both of them have something in their backstory. In Family Matters, they don't really get into it, but there is some mention of, there having been some issues in his past. It works. They're played by the same character. It's the same character in both of them. It's my favorite headcanon that Family Matters is a sequel to Die Hard.
I like it. It's the same universe.
Yep.
Oh no. Wait, but is it a Christmas movie or no?
Die Hard, absolutely a Christmas movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
What say you, Skep? Die Hard a Christmas movie, or is it just
Oh,
a
I
movie that
certainly
takes place at
associate it.
Christmas?
No, I certainly associate it with it. Very definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say the first two, if I remember correctly, both take place at Christmas, and both of them are Christmas movies.
Some darn good ones, much better than me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are both part of my family's normal Christmas movie rotation.
Mhm.
So we get those, then we get the Blue Carbuncle, the Jeremy Brett version, of course, and we also watch. Typically, my mother and sister advocate for Love Actually as one of our other Christmas movies.
Love Actually. I don't think I've seen that one.
Did you ever wonder what gave bourbon its flavor?
What is it? I thought it was
It's the barrel.
molasses.
No, I'm talking about the chemical. I'm talking about the chemical.
Oh, the exact chemical.
Oh.
I'm not sure
No,
which
there are
one.
many. Well, there are many. Let me just.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I've studied for years and years, and I've got a big background. So let me just help you. Stuff like, essentially, when you make bourbon, you actually create a lot of flavor
Mm-hmm.
fermentation process, and that creates, you create the ethyl alcohol, obviously, but you also create higher alcohols as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of a problem. That's what you want to avoid. That's how people want. Uh, but you want to keep the isopropyl alcohol too. For mineral. There is some mineral. There's always methyl alcohol and propyl alcohol in bourbon. They're just in small enough quantities where they don't damage you. They don't make
Yep.
you blind.
Especially since both of them have to compete with the.
The other significant chemical group are called esters.
Yep.
Do you know what an ester is offhand? Off the top of your head?
Absolutely.
I do not know what an ester is.
Do you know how it's represented as what the generic formula for an ester is?
What's an ester?
It's the
RCCOOR.
Yep.
So you're going to have a radical on either side of a COO. That's how you identify an ester. Usually it's a double bonded. One of them is double bonded, although it's not necessary for that. But things like ethyl octanate and all the you actually have some isoamyl acetate will provide flavors like apple. Isoamyl acetate will actually make it taste a little bit like a banana.
Ooh.
And ethyl dodecanate
Is that
is where you get
a
the floral
potassium
notes.
taste or?
When you sense floral notes, everybody thinks it comes from the barrel. That's bullshit. It actually comes from the fermentation process. And what happens with the barrel is the inside of the barrel goes into solution.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of it goes into solution, and that's where you get the resins, the piney, the resinous notes are the stuff that come from the barrel, and then some of the chemicals. It's really complicated. Some of the chemicals that are leached out of the barrel interact with these esters and produce yet other complexes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the real art of getting the right barrel is everything, evidently.
Oh yeah. And that's one of the things that also categorizes different types of whiskey. The types of barrels that you age them in, which give them different characters. So you have like a lot of Japanese whiskeys. The high-end ones are Mizunara oak barreled aged whiskeys, which give an entirely different character. And I actually have a set of whiskey glasses that go through a bunch of the chemicals that are
neat. Very cool.
in the whiskeys and tell you what the various chemicals yield or end up with the flavor of.
Do you know when you taste deep bourbon, bourbon, and it tastes raw and nasty?
Yep.
Do you know what causes that? Do you know what class of chemicals causes that? I'll bet you get this right. Tell me.
Is it the
Let's see.
the
Oh, formaldehyde.
At the well, not just
Or-
formaldehyde, but yes, all the aldehyde.
Yeah, the
And
aldehyde.
the other thing that happens in cheaply made whiskey is you get ketones in there.
Hmm.
You actually get and they're all alkyl ketones too. That's that really nasty raw flavor. The thing that makes people say that tastes like paint thinner. Frequently, that's a ketone with some nasty radical on the end. Just thought you might be interested to know the chemistry of bourbon. You know, from a recovering alcoholic who knows all about it.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I have that one set of glasses, which I absolutely love looking at because it goes to like vanillin, which of course causes the vanilla flavor of a number of whiskeys. Then you have like Furfurai, which is the almond and caramel notes.
Mm-hmm.
You have the let's see. Sorry, some of these are worn off slightly because I use these.
Yeah, would you have
glasses a
one
lot.
that says thiomethone for berry, the berry flavor? Because that's where that comes from.
I do on this one. And then I have, of course, the acetaldehyde, which is the Granny Smith apple flavor. Or, sorry, acetaldehyde, not acetaldehyde. Then there's the isoamylin acetate, which is the one that you mentioned, the banana and pear aroma.
Right.
The whiskey lactones, which is the main component in that smell. Yeah, that's one of my favorite whiskey glasses, just because I can drink my whiskey and nerd out about whiskey as well.
So, lactones. I haven't thought about that in a long time. That's OCO, right? That's oxygen, carbon, oxygen, and then radicals on both sides, right? I think that's right.
The whiskey lactone is double bonded with a ring that has it's a 5-member ring.
No. You're looking at the radical. I'm just talking about the generic for lactone.
Oh
the
yeah.
General the chemical definition of lactones, I think, is oxygen, carbon, oxygen, and then whatever on either side. It's basically a holder. A lactone thing in pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceutical companies use chemicals like lactones because it's a really handy way to carry complex chemical compounds around without paying a great price in terms of the number of steps you have to do to get it off the lactone stem.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, more than you wanted, but yeah, they're cyclic carboxylic esters, so they're really kind of a super set. I think they're cyclic. Are they? Yeah.
Yeah, this one
you've got like a benzene ring, right?
Yep, this one, the whiskey lactone in particular, like I said, is a 5-member ring where oxygen's one of the members of the ring.
Yep. OCO.
Yep.
That's the part that makes it alive.
Exactly.
Interesting stuff. It's amazing. And if you think that bourbon is red wine is the master, about 200 separate compounds in most bourbon whiskey. In wine, there's in red wine that has been aged in a barrel, you're looking at 300-400 separate identifiable compounds, many of which contribute to taste.
I'm also willing to bet Scotch is probably up there in the number.
Scotch is actually just like bourbon.
Oh, it is?
Scotch,
I would have figured that it would have had more with the longer aging.
No, it's almost identical.
It's not about the flavoring.
But it has different. It has different sets of chemicals, obviously. Because, and they're actually mostly the same chemicals, but they're in very different proportions.
Yeah, like I said,
it's actually very close to bourbon. People don't realize that they taste it.
Yeah, I would have figured that it would have had much more due to the length of the aging process and the various characteristics that you
have
have
a
when
higher
you go into
concentration of them from the additional leaching. You don't get more. In fact, over time, through oxidation, you get because of the oxidation of the big molecule, big honking molecule.
Mm-hmm. At least some of them are enormous. Some of them are fairly tiny compared to the rest of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the cool things. Like I said, this glass has all of the, or not all of them, it has a good number of the chemical compounds, as well as their structures on the actual glass. So you can look at them and they go in both, looks like Fisher projection, as well as the, the old school ball and stick model.
Wait, what's a ball?
They do the old school ball and stick on these as well.
Ooh.
So Fisher projection is one way of visualizing the structure of a molecule, and ball and stick is something that a lot of people really swear by because it allows you to actually manipulate the molecule in your hand to a certain degree.
I hate
So, like,
ball and stick. By the way, I would
much rather deal with the Fisher and the other projections that you can use.
Yep.
Yeah, some people really hate the ball and stick. Some people really like the ball and stick. My organic chemistry teacher damn near swore by the ball and stick.
Ball and stick. All the organic guys love that because it makes their job. They think.
Because then you can actually get a visual of the chemical that you're working with rather than just, oh yeah, this is the way that this one's made, and draw it out. You can actually see how it forms the chair or the different fold patterns that you can get in the molecule. So it helps with the cis, trans, and determining the R and L, or R and
Determine that with the
L
ball
and
stick
S
line?
and D. Those are the two different ones.
Damn it.
And say again, Adam?
Getting back to topics we can all do.
Yeah.
Adam, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing alright. I'm hearing ball and stick, and all I keep thinking is, didn't they have in England, like a stick with notches on it that determined the value of something?
In England?
There's a couple of different things that you could be referring to.
Yeah, some stuff with Americans. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. What you were saying just kind of bumped this imagery into my mind, and I just reminded of paying for sticks with notches on it or something like that, to determine how much something was of value. But yeah, no.
Are you talking about a tally stick?
Was it?
I mean, there's such a thing as tally.
There's, like I said, two or three things that I can think of. There's the one that you just mentioned. There's a very, very, very rudimentary hydrometer that could be being described here.
It didn't last very
tally
long.
sticks were officially employed by the Exchequer of England.
Yeah,
To
it was.
collect the king's taxes. Local sheriffs were given the task of actually collecting the tax. The depth and series of notches that I have never heard of it represented the value of possession. Supporting a debt, wooden sticks were often split horizontally into two parts, the lender receiving one part, stock, and the debtor the other part, the foil. Let's see. The accumulation of talent in the office of Exchequer were burned in 1834, resulting in a fire that destroyed the Parliament building. That was how they were keeping track who owed the money.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, who knew?
Hold on.
That's
Is Sangru a little bit louder?
Coming in a little bit quiet, yeah.
Yeah.
Turning up his volume would probably.
Ah, shit. See, again, once again, quick reminder for the folks. Usually I wouldn't be hosting this on my channel, but because we were a bad boys, the
5
minions
years
got
ago.
struck, so we gotta you know. This is the what is it? The Hanukkah lion or the oil? You know, like fucking. We thought it would last for one night, but it lasted for 10 nights and shit. You know, it's we're on backup. So to say.
The Festival of Light.
Yes.
I sent you both the link Alex did.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
No.
And yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all that I come in fine, because even if you reduce my volume by like a third, I just speak loud.
Well, yeah, you know, you have a verbroseness of your.
He projects really well.
There you go.
Yeah, which is that's a combination of big lungs, big voice box, a lot of advantages. A lot of advantage. You can really get that voice out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. I just.
And this just reminded me of something that I was talking about in another Discord that I'm a part of, where somehow the topic of acting and theater came up in the Discord.
Ooh.
So I started talking about the couple of plays that I was in when I was in college. And the projection reminded me of my favorite thing to do was every year I'd be in the Christmas Carol, and I got to play the only completely unrepentant evil character in the Christmas Carol. The man who is the leader of the grave robbers.
That's something.
And because... Oh, go ahead.
That's something that you were happy with, or?
Oh yeah, it was fun. It is delightful being the evil person, especially in a play that's so optimistic and cheery, where everyone else gets a redemption. Scrooge gets his glorious redemption. The grave digger / grave robber is the shittiest person. He doesn't get any redemption. He doesn't have any light side to his character. So you just get to revel in, I'm a piece of shit. And it also is just such a tonal shift from the rest of the play, because that is meant to be the nadir. That is meant to be the deepest, darkest moment when Scrooge is seeing these people talking about divvying up all his stuff. So I got to have the dark standout moment that was allowed to violate a bunch of the other rules of the play. Like every other time that characters were walking off stage, you got quieter. As you do in most plays, you get quieter as you're going off stage. So you start at this type of volume, and then as you walk off, you slowly drift.
Yeah.
You aren't even heard.
Huh?
Whereas I was meant to be this dark, evil moment. So rather than drifting off slowly, I got to go out with this great, big, bosso, evil laugh that just grew and grew and grew in volume until it just stopped.
Do you get to act in any other play?
I was Marcus Lycus in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which was also a hell of a lot of fun.
You were in that movie?
Not in that movie, sadly, just in the college stage play that my school did.
You seemed a little young for the movie.
Yeah, I would have been rather young, and also that actor was much smaller than I am, which... and had far less hair than I do. Though that movie is absolutely amazing, and it's one of the reasons why I love Zero Mostel.
No. And Mel Brooks.
Mm-hmm. Well, Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum wasn't Mel Brooks.
Who was it? Who wrote that?
Let me quickly double check. I know it wasn't Mel Brooks. It was...
Dude, recently, Princess Bride has been on the YouTube free with advertisements, you know, the ads and all that. If you got a browser with
Oh, it's low.
ad restrictions, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Bert Shreeflove and brother. Steven
And
Sondheim.
Richard Lester was the director for the movie.
Yeah, Lester Doran. Yep. You're right. What am I thinking of? What am I?
Are you thinking the History of the World Part 1?
Yeah,
because
that's got to be it.
that has
Just
the
a Monty
Roman
Python,
element.
isn't
Your
it?
moment. Yeah, that's what it is. You're absolutely right.
History of the World Part 1 is Mel Brooks.
Oh,
I absolutely got that. Confused. Probably just a minor.
But yeah, I love Zero Mostel. Oh, and if you're thinking Mel Brooks was Zero Mostel, then it would have been the producers.
producers. That's a good one.
Yep, the original producers had Zero Mostel as Max Bialystock.
Ooh, shit.
And he was amazing.
Oh yeah. Nathan Lane did a decent job, but it's hard to compete with Zero Mostel.
It was different, and I liked Nathan Lane too, though. I
Yeah.
really liked Lane.
Yeah.
He was really good.
I liked all of them. Both of them. Truly.
They both.
I do
did
have to say,
good
I prefer.
performances.
Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, I was just saying they both did good performances, respectfully. But I do like Nathan Lane's a little bit better.
See, for me, I preferred the version that I saw live in theater to the version that they put out as the movie. Because they did the primary casting in the movie. I got to see some of the secondary casting, and some of the secondary casting was far better than the primary casting. Like, did any of you guys ever see the old television series Wings?
Oh yes, of
No,
course.
I
That's
don't
not
say
old. I think of it as new.
Well, it's not old, but it's been off air for at least like a good 20 years now, I think.
Oh yeah, but it came on after Lucy.
Oh,
After
yeah.
Lucille Ball is after that era.
Very true. But it was the younger brother from Wings played Bloom in the theater version that I
Oh
saw.
really? Interesting.
And he was amazing. I still got to see Nathan Lane as Max Bialystock, which he is the best Max Bialystock that I could imagine of the current crop. I still prefer Zero Mostel just because Zero Mostel is goddamn Zero Mostel. But
Do you know who wrote the theme for Wings? I didn't know this. I just
I do not.
Franz Schubert.
Ah,
Ooh.
Piano Sonata, number
Mhm.
20, in A major, D959, Rondo Allegretto.
okay. That is really surprising.
Yeah, he wrote it hundreds of years before the series came on.
Yeah, I
That is
was about to say,
Yeah,
it's really
that is
surprising if he wrote that with planes when it's that old.
He,
Of,
he wrote that before Beethoven was alive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'm assuming it's someone with the same name, much younger.
No, it's really Franz Schubert. I'm not kidding. The Austrian composer, 1797 to 1828.
Wrote the
years. 31
early
years.
90s sitcom from...
He only lived 31 years. He wrote 600 secular vocal, mostly leader.
Damn.
Seven complete symphonies, a bunch of sacred music, hymns, all kinds of hymns, and
Mhm.
the operas. He wrote several operas, and wrote a bunch of chamber music. I've heard him lots. He was my mother's favorite. She used to play all his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Bear was badass.
That's like I'm trying to remember.
I guess he was a contemporary Beethoven. He wasn't really.
So he was like a music specifically version of Michelangelo, because Michelangelo was just banging out statues and various other works at an insane rate. I think it's wasn't it David he did in like 3 days?
Yeah.
I don't know how long it took him to do David, but I know he was banging most of the help in Florence too.
True. But yeah, I think it's David. One of his main statues, and I'm almost positive it was David. He ended up doing in like 3 days of work. Which, good fucking God. When you're making statues that quickly, what the fuck?
Yeah, when you're working with marble, it's just kind of like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's one of those things like Liston. Skep, of course, knows who Liston is. He's not a artist of any sort. He's one of the founders of modern medicine to a large extent.
Are you talking about Lister?
Sorry, Liston. Yeah.
Lister.
So,
Yeah,
Robert,
go ahead.
the Scottish surgeon.
Right.
Oh.
The grave robber.
No, that was...
A grave robber employer.
No, that was Knox.
Well, no, they all were. Everybody at a Scottish medical school hired grave robber. As far as I know, I've read a substantial amount of history.
He was the one who was given the bodies straight from the execution by the crown.
Yeah, I'm talking about the ones who would go out in the middle of the night and dig up corpses.
Yep, that's
Hey,
the
Da Vinci did that.
resurrectionist, and the main one that's known for that is, and it is Liston. I just double checked. It is Liston.
Liston? Okay, I thought you were talking about Joseph Liston.
No, I was talking about Robert Liston of the Liston knife.
I've never heard of him.
Oh, he's this amazing Scottish surgeon he was a contemporary of Knox, the man who I thought you were referring to earlier.
Wasn't Knox just a weird guy? Is that who I'm thinking of? A really strange guy and just fascinated by dissection?
He was an anatomist that was a contemporary of Liston. He was the one who ended up employing Burke and Hare.
Yes, Burke and Hare. Now that story I've heard. That is who I was thinking.
Yep.
You're right.
So there is actually a story of Liston and Knox and their most infamous encounter, where Liston ended up becoming suspicious of how Knox is getting all these bodies, and he went to Knox's lecture hall, effectively, his particular section of the university, noticed the corpse of one of the victims of Burke and Hare, preserved in a rather interesting manner, shall we say. And in a rage, he knocks out Knox, and then grabs the entire corpse and enormous body-sized jar full of fluid that this woman is in, and carries it out of the room like it's fucking nothing. He was this absolutely monstrously proportioned man. He was something like 6'8". And there's another time where he was a renowned surgeon. He was the fastest surgeon at the time, in fact. He could complete an amputation.
He was an amputation guy. Yeah.
Yep. He could complete an amputation in under a minute and a half.
It seems longer if you're the patient.
Oh yeah, but considering that the average amputation at the time was like a good 30 minutes plus, his minute and a half was goddamn lightning. It was absolutely ridiculous. But there's one point where he was to perform a surgery and his patient got scared when the tools were brought out, because at this time you weren't under anesthesia or anything like that. you just had to be slightly liquored up and then have a surgery performed on you. So,
You know, the guy Knock, interesting guy. He was wounded over by my childhood home
oh,
just a few years before I was there. Well, you know, actually, that's not too far from the truth. That was 1815,
mm-hmm.
and I was there in 1959.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's 144 years afterwards. He was wounded at the Battle of Waterloo. Isn't
Oh.
that interesting?
Yeah.
And he was a surgeon, so you know he tended to the wounded on the hospital ships, and even though he was wounded, he still gave other patients care, and that was where he was beginning to refine the technique of leaving the open wound technique that I think was going around in Scottish medicine at the time, leaving wounds open to the air so that they would heal.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy. I think I read a book about him. I just forgot.
Liston, at one point, the patient got scared, ran off, hid in a closet, and had sealed the door behind him as he went into the closet. Liston, according to the several records of this event, walked up to the door, grabbed the door with one hand, ripped it off the hinges, tossed it casually to the side, grabbed the patient, dragged him back to the table, held him down, did the amputation, got the guy patched up, and the guy survives the amputation, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't always happen.
Oh, shit.
It didn't always happen, but
Hold on.
Liston had the highest rate of success.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah,
I got notes. I can fix her. Yes, did you hear about the lady who cut off about her tattoo from her ex?
Oh yes, I was told this story by Camel, I believe.
Yes.
Wait. Tell Grampy this.
I'm sorry. There was a lady, and I guess she got dumped by her dude.
So this woman who's very much into tattoos and body modification, scarification, things like that, was in a relationship. She tattooed the bloke's name on her arm.
Always a good move.
Then the relationship goes tits up. They break up, and in response to the breakup, she cuts like a good 12 to 13 inch long segment of skin off her forearm.
It's a lot of skin.
And then mails it to the guy.
I like this. That's spirit. That's you know, anybody can hold a grudge. Cutting a piece of your arm off, that takes.
It's, that's dedication. And I gotta say,
really
hold
is.
on.
There's no young people don't have that kind of integrity.
Nothing says love like getting an ear in the mail.
Well, I was gonna say,
especially if it's being returned to.
Because I'm one of those guys, and I can fix her. Hold on. I'm so good. They're giving me a show on TLC. It's called This Old Whore. Oh wait.
This old hoe.
I mean, they're giving me a show on TLC. It's called Crazy Whore Rescue.
Crazy Whore Rescue?
I don't know if that. Okay, hold on. Wait, I got one more.
Bar rescue.
Hold on. I can't even read this. The spelling is really bad.
Oh, is this the adopt a crack
cunt
hoe?
with space? I don't know. The cunt with space. I don't know if that's I don't know. the third one is outside boundaries. But yes,
Killer cunts from outer space. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Killer cunts from outer space. That would be horrifying. Oh, jeez.
It's an extended version of teeth.
I like the idea of adopting a crack hoe.
Hold on. To be fair, listen, sweetheart. You don't have to cut off a chunk of your skin.
I swear, if you advocate for Lorena bobbiting someone,
No, well, at least hey, at least
you don't have to cut off a chunk of your skin. Just cut off his penis.
no, she just cut off his skin. The Lorena Bobbitt cut off a phallus.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm more in supportive of at least you cut off a chunk of your skin. Oh no.
At least you skinned yourself rather than gelding your partner. Now, if that isn't damning with faint praise, I don't know what the hell is.
Oh jeez.
But yeah, it's just... The story was ridiculous, and she was something like 34 years old. She cut off, like I said, a good, 12-inch long segment of skin that was at least,
A good chunk
2 inches wide. So it was a good chunk of her forearm
But
that
she's
she
single.
carved out.
So, I mean,
So, did she
there's
die from the infection or anything?
Nope, she
a chance.
was able to get treatment in order to handle the exposed damn near muscle at that point. But
I was gonna
it
say
was just one of those, what the fuck?
I would have her my tattoo is gonna be on her back, and it's gonna be in the shape of bacon with me. Just gonna that was okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
That way when you get it in the mail you can fry it up and
Look, I wrote a whole bunch
taste
of
some
these
long
things.
pig.
I was you know, shooting off the rim, but apparently, Congress wants to limit the amount of bullets we can shoot. Oh, that was bad.
Limit your ammunition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that story was just one of those, what the fuck is wrong with people's stories? When you're reading it and you're going like, okay, so woman acts crazy when she breaks up. Yep, that makes sense. She cut off a 12-inch long and 2-inch wide strip of skin. Wait, what? It was her partner's name that she had tattooed onto her body. Okay. She then mailed it to her partner. What the fuck am I reading?
Right.
It just jumped up real goddamn fast in that article.
Yeah.
And I just realized what time it is, and I'm going to have to charge off here for work.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get going before too terribly long. I've got about an hour here. I've got a few things I've got to get done. And
Well, funny enough, I'm actually gonna be calling it too. Oh, 852. Yes. Yes. I'm gonna be calling it in about 6 minutes. Just to get a good hour in.
Yep.
Once again, like I said, we are in
Exile.
Yeah, tumultuous times. And I'm trying to provide some semblance of entertainment. Even if I can't, I try. But I will say,
It's been a fun show.
I thought we the three of
I
us.
mean, shit, I lost track of time.
Yeah.
And I got to talk
And
about Liston.
in the words of Schmoop, yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Now, what did I grab when I said yes, yes? Those of you who know who Schmoop was,
Whoa.
those Vonnegut fans out there,
Who's
what did I grab and say yes, yes?
Well, okay, you can't lead off.
That's all Schmoop did. That's all he could do. He was the elevator operator, and if anybody spoke to him, he would just grab his butt and say yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite characters in Cat's Cradle.
But you gotta at least, provide a little bit of context about who.
I'm always happy to.
I was half expecting you to say, no, he grabs his butt. That's all the context you get.
Where's the explanation? Oh shit!
But anyway, if you haven't read Cat's Cradle, that is one of the best absurdist novels, in my opinion. Maybe the best one ever written. I'd much rather read Vonnegut. Am I right, Prospero?
I'm pretty sure that she would agree.
She'd have to.
Damn it.
But yes, I'm going to have to head off because I need to finish donning my leg weights and then don my work attire and head off to the lab. So
Let's go down to the lab and see what's on the lab.
Dude,
nice.
Give me at least if you're seeing the visual, just at least give me
Until you win the fight
nah, well, try.
or lose the fight.
Yeah. Because that way we can end it and damn it. Okay.
Sadly, you got beat by Sneck.
Coco fucking
So Sneck is Coco.
there
Just blocking and throwing you around.
all
Are
right.
we
There
streaming
you go.
live right now?
Distortion finish.
Yes, we're streaming and
On
there's
that's right. It's on what? Which channel?
it's on Adam's channel.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's why it's not on mine.
Yep.
That's why I wanted to at least end it on a what's it? We are 5, 6. Okay.
And Kokinoe refuses your ending it on a high note. And
Well, yeah. Hey, I told him we'd end it on a high note, and apparently that's it. But hey, I want to say, because we are at the
just about at the hour mark.
And we are also at the Minions stream. So I want to thank you both for joining, and as the auspicious times we are here on my channel. I'm sure hopefully we can get it onto the Minions bit, but yes, normally Sundays would be on the Minions, but because we're hardcore and we're Sex Pistols like, we got booted on the YouTube, so we're on my channel. But I will say thank you, the both of you, for joining us. Anything you'd like to end us with?
I'll leave off with my standard of, if you're passionate about something, make sure that you devour it. Don't let it devour you.
Particularly true if you're passionate about Tiger.
Yep.
Eee.
Or if you really love snakes. Also a really bad idea, allowing your snake to devour you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Don't even let them have a fight.
I can't say I'm a fan of snakes, to be honest. But
Oh, you just got whooped by a snack.
Yeah, well, you know what? I will get my recompense with Coco eventually. That's the fun thing about playing these fighting games. But hey, I'm grateful that everybody joined us for this Sunday evening. I hope everybody has a wonderful week coming up, and I can say I love you all, and God bless. The zoo is closed. Take care.
Have a good night. And I definitely need to quickly
Minions is recorded on tape in front of a live studio audience.